Welcome back to Box Delights. In this video I just want to introduce you to the game of Crokinole. It's a game of high dexterity and skill played on a wooden board. The aim is to score points, dispose of your opponent's pieces and leave your own in high scoring positions. In a game, two players will be sitting opposite each other. You can play with four, but I'm just showing you the two-player here. With one of your 12 discs, you've got to attempt a valid shot, and then you'll score. If any of the opposing players' discs are in play, then one of your discs, the shooter's disc, must strike an opposing disc either directly or by bumping one of your own discs already in play into an opposing disc. If there's no opposing discs in play, then the shooting disc, or at least one disc struck during the shot, must end up touching or within the 15 line. This is called the no hiding rule. Some people consider this optional. Touching or behind the 15 line will score you 10 points. On the 10 line or behind it will score you 5 points. You want to try and avoid overhitting and crossing the shooting line. If you do that, then it scores no points. Any discs that bounce out and come back in also don't score. So you're heading for that 20 zone. Those are the points that are going to score at the end of the game. You can shoot from anywhere inside your quadrant. You can be on or behind or sitting on those quadrant lines when you shoot. And you'll take turns shooting. Every time you score a 20, remove the disc, scores you 20 at the end of the game, and the turn passes to your opponent. Try and knock your opponent's pieces out. And that's the skill involved in this game, knocking your opponent's discs and scoring your own. It can be really tricky when there's a disc hiding behind one of these pins. More often than not, they'll be sitting somewhere towards your end of the pins. Knock those out, score your own. And that's the point of the no hiding rule. If you stick a disc right up against a pin, it's going to be nigh on impossible for your opponent to hit it, unless you're pretty skillful. A disc can end up in your side, and then it kind of makes it easy to knock it out and score your own. If there's no opposing players' discs, then you're going to be having to try and knock your own in. As long as your disc ends up inside that 15 line, then it's a valid shot. If we take a quick look at the flicking technique, remember anywhere on the line is good, anywhere at all, in, on, behind. I like to sit it so that I can flick off that base of the board there, so that I can get a little bit of leverage as I'm striking. Whatever makes you feel comfortable, really. You'll get used to the speed, so you can lay down those 20s and rack up some points. Remember, you've got 12 discs for the whole game, taking turns, and any that don't score, just gully them. Your backside has to stay on the seat at all times when you're playing. As you're playing, you'll take your shot, trying to go for that 20. If you don't get it in, then your opponent will shoot right back at you. They're trying to score off your disc if they can. That's a pretty good shot. 20 gets removed, scored at the end. Only discs that are sitting on the table will score, plus those 20s at the end. We have to get that disc inside the 15 line. This is one of the most tricky shots, is leading up and trying to get your disc. And they have a tendency to stop, you see, so you've got to follow through. Trying to get that follow through is really hard. There you go. That's an example of how to do it. We didn't quite get rid of that white one sitting in the 15 and scoring there. But another 20 for the end score is what this game's all about. So remember, I'm looking for a valid shot, trying to bump my disc into the middle if I can to get that 20. We're good. Nice shot. 20 more points. The red discs now have to hit one of mine, and their striking disc can end anywhere because there were some of the opposing, my discs, on the table. Anything that bounces off and back on, just remove it. Anything touching that shooting line, that gets removed. And if you fail to touch one of your opponent's discs, then your shooting disc and any disc that it touched on that moved will get removed also. So there we go, that's Crokinole. It's going to be great fun. I really love it. Practice makes perfect in this game.